I created exam rooms that had no tables. They all had couches and like little lounge chairs so that people felt like they were in a living room space. There was never a waiting room in my office and hasn't been ever since. And it was concierge-like without a concierge fee because concierge didn't really exist in the way it does now back then. And I did newborn home visits and all of that. And also I was very open to complementary and alternative approaches that had evidence base. Okay. So if something was, if we knew safety profile, I would say, but we didn't have good evidence for it, I would say, look, I know it's safe. I don't know if it's effective. You can go ahead. If we had evidence that it was unsafe, I would say, no way, Jose. If it was safe and effective, I would actually recommend it. And so I had this whole approach that was long before migraine treatments involved coenzyme Q10 and magnesium and Butterburr. Those were all things we were doing regularly in our office practice. It was using some of those strategies along with baby-led weaning long before that was a thing and introducing allergenic foods about 4 years before the AAP changed its mind about it. As soon as the early Israel study came out, we moved. So it was using evidence to move toward a holistic approach. We integrated behavioral health into our practice in 2009 and had an on-site psychologist who was helping us with parenting and whole family issues, as well as very specific and targeted behavioral health issues for children of a variety of ages. So it really was a design that now sounds very like ho-hum because this is what everybody does. But at the time, it was a very different model than was seen.
How could you afford to do all of this? Because taking an hour to go visit with a newborn, there's no way that Virginia Medicaid pays $70 for a well-child exam. There's no way that you can take an hour getting to somewhere and then spending 30 minutes with the family and then coming back to the office.
We
You
did
go
have
back.
a radius. We localized where we could do those home visits. So it wasn't done just free form. It had to have been within a 5-mile radius of the office. I tended to do them on my lunch hour, or I would do them at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, like you would do rounding. Although I was still rounding at the hospital at the beginning, by 2015, probably, I gave up hospital rounding. So that made it a little bit easier. It took up that space. And you don't make much little round.
How many did you do in a day?
Yeah, it would vary, right? Some days, none. Some weeks, none. We weren't a huge practice. So at the most, we had 4 providers at a time at an office. So we might have 6 newborns, 5 newborns a week. It wasn't heavy. And when we did have that many providers, then a person would have time blocked to do those. And then if we didn't have any that day, it would fill in with sick visits. So we set it up just like you do with hospital rounding. It's no different from a schedule standpoint.
This is a very interesting model.
This was a thing that was done more for convenience, for
It was
relationship building. Yeah.
Yes, it's relationship building. Frankly, it's a differentiator in the marketplace. There are a lot of reasons to consider doing it.
One bread and butter.
No, you don't make money on it for sure. It's a loss leader for sure, but it definitely creates a relationship with the family that is different and stronger and allows for, I think, and we believe differently, it reduces maternal postpartum or family, not just maternal, but paternal postpartum depression and anxiety.